Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how calculated the people and beings and entities around you are. You know, they are extremely calculated in the moves they make. The same way you're calculated in the moves you make, they are calculated as well too, you know what I mean? They just tend to, like the last video, focus their energy differently. The way this world and this war is set up, it's a lot of dual meaning and it's a lot of doubling down. So if you think about it, like, so what we doing up here and what I like to do is kind of like radio programming, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be hard for you to realize and put the emphasis on how calculated and how serious these other entities are around you without the repetition. It's kind of like anything you do, you gotta do it with repetition, you know what I mean? If you want to be the best cooker, you gotta keep cooking. Best basketball player, you gotta keep practicing, you know what I'm saying? The best driver, you gotta continue to drive. We are expertise of our actual walking experiences, you know? So if you've been doctoring and healing people your whole life, it don't make a difference if the systems tell you because you didn't get a piece of paper you're not a doctor. Fuck them and that piece of paper, you know what I mean? You actually got the physical proof to show you've been helping and healing beings in real lifetime, you know what I mean? So every day I'm processing this war. So every day I'm gonna have some stuff that I just wake up and it just be on my spirit and it's like, oh, okay, so that's why that happened, okay, oh, so this is why that's happened, okay, so all right, so that's why I'm taking this path, okay, so that's why I took that path. So just understanding how calculated these beings are. Like, when I say calculated, I mean calculated to the point to where you will have beings doing, anytime you tell somebody in someone you don't like something, or that's something that you're not fond of, or that's something that you need help or work in that area, they are going to be very calculated in how they take advantage of you and that situation. This is what they do, and this has always been the process. So you got to understand, each demon and narc, they grow and mold to you and your character. I had one being try to tell me they was good with numbers or picking correct scores and shit because we was doing some numbers. I think to myself, like, bitch, how you just gonna sit here and lie to me? You are not good with numbers. You are trying to reflect who I am and what I do onto yourself, and that's not you. It doesn't work, you know what I mean? It was crazy hearing them say that. I like high risk investing, you know what I mean? So like, what people would call gambling, I call high risk investing. It all depends on the word spells you put on it, you know what I mean? You can put your money in the bank, but I don't trust the bank. You can sit on your money, but your money is going to slowly devalue and you're gonna slowly use it just off of minor expenses and assets, the way this shit is set up. So in my world, it's like, it's plentiful of everything out here, especially in my spirit realm. So like, even if I don't have the money, I'll still process it as if I do have plenty of it or enough of it, and I'll still be able to do what I gotta do. And then the universe, because I have avenues open, will just send some shit through, you know what I mean? But it was weird hearing somebody say that they good with numbers, because that's what I've been doing, and I've been in there really good with the numbers, and now they're trying to mimic and copy me. It's such a crazy process just seeing how calculated they are and what they do, and then trying to sit around and play dumb. A wise man can play a fool, but a fool cannot play a wise man. So they are retarded people trying to pretend to be wise. They are evil, intentional beings trying to pretend to be wise. Like, you, for the ones who have the demons in their life that's permanent, you know, like baby mother, baby father, mom, dad, you in their spaces, vicinities, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That shit is a little different because that's there for life. So we cannot run away from everything. I know it sounds good, but you cannot run away from everything. You know, for me to run away from my BM, I would have to run away from my child, you know, and I would never do that. So this is where being able to become a critical thinker and dive in deeper on a lot of angles and perspectives will help you in the process. If you've been dealing with somebody for a week, but y'all been around each other and y'all been pretty in depth with each other, y'all starting to learn each other. Y'all starting to grow a bond. No different than if you spent 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years together. You know what I mean? So you have to understand that, like, these beings aren't moving around and doing things accidental. You know, what I do realize is like, a lot of times, like, when they do something really disgusting, like extremely disgusting, like, let's say they just took some shit and smeared it all over their own face and then put it all over your clothes, but they don't want to tell you they did it. They feel shitty about it, but they did it anyways because they want you to feel shitty too. You know what I mean? A lot of these beings, they tend to do things like, they'll go into an over reward system after they do something disgusting. Some, for the most part, go into an over reward system. So if somebody do something really shitty, maybe they'll cook you a really nice meal. You know what I'm saying? They'll make a really extravagant meal. Just something to take up their time and make it seem like they was really focused on putting this energy into you. And then you have others that will make it seem as if, like, they put some thought into planning y'all day out or something because they already did some witchy shit the day before. You know what I mean? So all of this stuff just kind of runs hand in hand and concurrent with how witchy and demonic and calculated these beings are. You know what I mean? What the? It's a whole van that just pulled up right here while I'm filming and beeping and blinking and doing all kind of things. But the thing with this process is like, you just have to understand, like, when we are being in these positions and places where these people are being really demonic, this is all intentional. This is what I mean by they are doing things intentionally. I'm just gonna spin it to show y'all. He did not have to do this. The van pulls up just to start beeping and blinking and making noises and shit. Like, this be the kind of stuff that be throwing me. He pulled up with the window down. Oh, he's filming. Isn't it fucking obvious that I'm filming? I'm not mad, but I just be like, people just have, it's like no more common knowledge anymore. It's like, in the Western society, it's like I have to be as rude and disgusting as possible, and it's okay because nobody's gonna do anything about it. That's the shit that I don't agree with, and it's running low on time. Like, eventually, like, shit like that will be more addressed, and it just won't be a skirt. Like the birds and shit, like, that's natural. I cannot do anything with that. But beings intentionally pulling up on me, knowing when they put their shit in reverse is gonna do that weird beeping, or they're pulling up trying to listen or watch. I'm cool with you listening. You can listen. That's what it's for, you know what I mean? But it's a difference when people are pulling up to try to listen attentively to see what's being said, what's going on, opposed from just trying to be witchy and to distract the thought process of what's actually happening. Like I was just saying, all of this shit is calculated. They drove this whole road up here before they got here and saw me right here and then decided to turn in. Like, it's very, like, out of the ordinary to see a lot of beings just standing in front of a digital camera on a tripod talking to it out loud with no one else around. So clearly I would assume that they are preoccupied doing something that's part of this new generation. But you know what I mean? This is what I mean by this shit is calculated, and you just have to be aware. Like, to me, I be feeling like the Road Runner. You know how the Road Runner just be living his life, and then Wile E. Coyote constantly trying to do witchy shit to him. He trying to drop rocks on him, trying to drop boulders on him. He trying to catch him, kill him, eat him, destroy him. He trying to destroy the Road Runner and destroy the Road Runner just like me, just jigging and finessing. And if you notice a lot of that cartoon, right, the Road Runner is just being himself. He didn't do anything extravagant opposed from being himself, while Wile E. Coyote is constantly trying to get at him, and him just being him is able to avoid all of those obstacles, and every single one of them backfire on Wile E. Coyote. It's the same thing with these demons. You know, they are being extremely calculated in their movements. Whether you got demons that wake up with you at the same time, you know, some of them like to rub and touch at the end of the night to just kind of disturb your sleep. Just the sleep deprivation is huge, you know what I'm saying? Because once they get you deprived and then you wake up and then they're allowed to frustrate you with their witchy ass energy, you know what I'm saying? That becomes this whole thing. Or if you go to work, you know what I'm saying, and you already know as soon as you go in there, you see Tony is about to fucking do some weird shit. All of this is intentional. All of it is intentional, and it's calculated. The same way you process, oh, when I go in there, Tony's gonna do this. Tony is processing, when you come in here, he's gonna do this to you. This is how they operate. I don't give a damn what level you on. You could be on the lowest of the lowest levels with no finances. You can be on the highest of the highest levels with the finances. And I'm just talking about physically, because spiritually, we already know you could be dumb as a box of rocks with all the money, because the money is fruitful out here in the Western society. Kind of like how we can look down right now and see walnuts or chestnuts, whatever kind of squirrel nuts, but you can see them everywhere. That's kind of like in the Western society how fruitful it is with the money, you know. So you may not feel that way, and I may not feel that way because we don't have all the abundance of it in the world. But you gotta realize, like, a lot of us too, we aren't complacent beings, you know. We always challenging ourselves, and then we challenge the ones around us. How else do you become a better version of yourself? How else do you, like, shift the universe? Like, in my world, I always wanted to be like, I'm gonna change the world. I don't know why the fuck I thought that, but I did. This is my process when I was little. And of course, as you get bigger, you realize that you're only this big of a being. But then once you get through that transition as well, next, it's like, oh shit, once I start shifting my energy and projecting more, doing more to help the universe, that changes the environment around me. Changing the environment around me, that's changing the world. That's changing the world. So that's what we have to understand. Like, we are powerful beings. We are extremely powerful. And of course, they don't want us to know that. But it's our job to know these things, you know. It's our job to teach these things on. It's our job to understand you cannot play wise and be a fool. Only a wise man can pretend to play a fool. So you gotta be very, very mindful and wary of these tactics. You have to, like, when people are choosing to sit in weird spiritual places, they're doing that intentionally to project a certain vibration to kind of stir your space up, to keep you confused and chaotic. You know what I'm saying? To keep you guessing and wondering what the hell is going on with them. When they start doing that shit, or if you're around beings that start doing that shit, block that fucking energy. Put your spiritual wall up. Start thinking about yourself and what you have to do and what you have going on. Don't dive into their world. I tell motherfuckers all the time, especially if I wake up and I'm in a productive mood and I'm like studying some shit or looking into some shit, bitch, you have to jump into my world. Because if you talk to me about breakfast, eggs, food, if you talk to me about something else that you're doing that don't have anything to do with what I'm doing, that means you're trying to pull me into your world. No, you join in my world, because I'm in a productive space right now, so I don't want to be removed from that productive space. These moves are calculated to keep you not being consistent on your purpose, on your flow, to just dim your light, you know, to remove your joy. Like, a lot of them, like, they'll do some witchy shit. I've been around a lot of witches. They'll do witchy shit, right? And then, like, 10 minutes later, I'm still in a joyful state, you know? It was like, they hit me, I didn't know it was them, because it's witchy. They do shit in between the lines, you know what I'm saying? So it was like later on down the road, like maybe hours or a day later, I knew it was them. But at the time, I didn't know. And it was like, it's like, oh shit, my stomach hurt. And then it was like 5 minutes later, it's like, I'm still up, I'm still active, I'm still full of light, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, they don't understand, like, how we're able to do these things. It's because we don't operate like y'all. And clearly, I tell you all the time, we got two different playbooks. So that means that where you're getting your strength from is not the same place we're getting our strength from. where you're getting momentum from is not the same place we're getting momentum from. We are on two opposite sides of the spectrum, young man, young lady, you know what I mean? Young demon, young witchy witch. We are on the opposite sides of the spectrum. You know, just because we all got the same vessels and we look similar don't mean that we are alike. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I've always been a parent and aware of. You know what I mean? I will never put nothing past nobody. I don't give a damn how big you are or how small you are. I'm going to assume that you are capable of doing some things, so I can only be aware and capable of what I'm capable of doing and assume that, all right, I know that I would do these things if somebody did this, but I don't just run around just assuming that somebody wouldn't do that. What happened was, I had a buddy of mine, he got killed a couple weeks ago. He probably assumed that the nigga that he was having a situation or however his engagements was, he probably assumed that the nigga wasn't gonna kill him. The nigga killed him. The nigga that killed him had just came home from doing like 20 to 22 years for a homicide, for killing somebody. You know what I'm saying? So in my world, like, I would have already knew that this being is willing to take it that far. So any situations or altercations that I have with this being, I have to be willing to take it there myself. I do, you know what I mean? Because if I'm not, then it's not gonna make much sense for me to be able to be in a space to be like, all right, well, let me just buck up and run my mouth because I can, you know what I'm saying? Just because you can don't mean you should. It's a lot of demons out here that are very entitled. It's a lot of entitlement out here, you know? People just do whatever the fuck they want to do without any kind of consideration. You know, it's a big enough planet out here for all of us to vibe, live, and eat without it being that kind of way. But that's just how it's set up, you know what I mean? So just understanding these things out here, like, it's gonna be more people that are doing witchy shit, that is robbing and vibing with the system, you know what I'm saying, that's being complacent, that feels like it's okay to not have any principles, morals, or values, you know what I mean? Just a handful of things, all of the above. But I ain't want to run up too long, you know, as y'all can see, I'm trying to get some filming on. We got bags, film, moving, food, all kind of shit, man. It's like, it's a whole big ass park, plenty of places to go to, and it's like, let me come make some noise in this motherfucker footage while he's filming. This is what I be saying about the entitlement, man. I don't know if it just be white people that's just this fucking entitled, or if it's just how the demons is set up, man. But the shit is disgusting, man. But the more y'all keep doing this shit, the more the finger is gonna be pointed at white people for being just so fucking disgusting and entitled. You guys gotta do better, alright? Y'all gotta do better. Cause y'all not gonna be able to do this forever and keep sitting around, running around doing this shit. And I'm only using that color cause that's what the fuck just pulled up. Eating McDonald's. Like, it doesn't get any more demonic than that, you know what I mean? Like, god damn, look at this big ass park. Look at this big ass park, y'all. Look at this big ass part, and then got the nerve to turn the video on so it's in the middle of my video. People just need the recognition and the acknowledgement. And sometimes you gotta give it to them, you know what I mean? So I ain't gonna run up too long. I just tap into everything down below. The demons is out full force out this bitch today, you know what I'm saying? Peace and love to the kings and queens.